No one has ever left number 13 Blackwood Lane, once they have stayed the night. The house sits at the edge of town, shrouded in a perpetual gloom, as if the sun itself hesitates to touch its walls. For generations, the townsfolk have whispered about its curse, but their voices always drop to a hush when the address is spoken aloud. This is not a rumor or a legend, it's a documented fact, a grim entry in the town's records for over a century. The ledgers are filled with names, dates, and the same chilling note: never seen again. Even the most skeptical officials have been forced to acknowledge the pattern, though none dare investigate too closely. The house stands on a quiet street, yet it holds its occupants with an invisible, unbreakable grip. Neighbors cross the street rather than walk past its gate, and children invent games to avoid its shadow. The air around it feels heavier, as if the house itself is breathing, waiting. People have entered, full of skepticism or bravado, but the front door, once closed, has never opened for their departure. Some have tried to leave notes or messages behind, but nothing ever makes it out. The house seems to erase all traces of those who cross its threshold. They simply vanish, swallowed whole by the silent, waiting structure. The halls echo with footsteps that never return, and the rooms remain untouched, as if time itself pauses within those walls. The story begins with Silas Blackwood, a wealthy industrialist who built the house for his bride in the late 19th century. He spared no expense, filling the home with imported marble, rare woods, and ornate fixtures. It was meant to be a monument to love and prosperity. Before they could move in, Silas vanished. His belongings were found neatly arranged, as if he had simply stepped out for a moment, but he was never seen again, and no trace of him was ever discovered. His bride, left alone, was the first to be claimed by the house. She wandered its halls, searching for her lost love, until she too disappeared, her wedding dress left draped over a chair, untouched by time. Since then, a grim pattern has emerged. Every decade, someone new dares to challenge the house's reputation: students, investigators, desperate families. Each arrival is met with hope or bravado, but always ends in silence. The house seems to lure them in, promising answers or adventure, but offering only oblivion. But the house has its own agenda. It is as if the building itself is alive, feeding on the hopes and fears of those who enter, growing stronger with every soul it claims. It waits, patient and hungry, for the next soul to step inside. The wind seems to whisper warnings, but curiosity and desperation always win out in the end. There are no signs of struggle, no secret exits. The police have searched every inch, but the house yields nothing. No clues, no bodies, only the chilling certainty that something unnatural is at work. Police find only dust, silence, and lives interrupted mid-action. Meals left half-eaten, books open on tables, as if the occupants were plucked away in an instant. It's as if the occupants simply evaporated, plucked from existence by an unseen hand. Their belongings remain gathering dust, silent witnesses to the house's hunger. The house's vacant windows stare out at the world, guarding its secret with an impenetrable stillness. And so, number 13, Blackwood Lane, waits, its doors forever closed, its appetite never sated, its legend growing with every year that passes. The architecture of number 13 is a deliberate exercise in confusion, a labyrinth designed to disorient and trap. Inside, hallways twist in impossible loops, doors open into brick walls, and rooms repeat endlessly. Surveyors' floor plans never match. The house seems to rearrange itself at will. The dark oak absorbs all light, the air is always cold, and silence presses in, broken only by your own heartbeat. Wallpaper patterns twist into screaming faces, mirrors reflect warped versions of yourself, and even the doorknobs leer like tiny gargoyles. Every detail is calculated to instill hopelessness. It is a house not built for living, but for the slow dismantling of the human spirit. Escape is not just unlikely, it's unthinkable. Eleanor Vance was a quiet, lonely woman, someone who had spent most of her life on the outside looking in. She moved through the world like a shadow, unnoticed and unremarkable, longing for connection but never quite finding it. Her days were filled with silence, her nights with dreams of belonging somewhere, anywhere, that felt like home. She wandered through life seeking a place to belong, her heart aching for acceptance and warmth. Each house she passed seemed to whisper promises of comfort, but none ever welcomed her in. One day she answered an ad for a research assistant to live in a mysterious old house and document any unusual phenomena. The opportunity felt like fate, a chance to start over, to finally be part of something meaningful. At first, Eleanor saw the house as a sanctuary, not a threat. Its grand halls and quiet corners seemed to embrace her, offering the peace she'd always craved. Her journal entries began with wonder. She wrote about strange drafts, faint whispers in the night, and objects that moved while she slept. The house felt alive, but in a way that made her feel special, not afraid. She felt chosen, as if the house had singled her out for a purpose. For the first time, Eleanor believed she truly mattered, that she was seen and wanted. But everything changed after a terrifying night. When she tried to leave, the front door wouldn't open. Every window was sealed tight, trapping her inside. Panic set in as she realized she was a prisoner, unable to escape the house's grip. Her journal turned frantic, filled with terror and disbelief. The words tumbled out in shaky handwriting as the house revealed its true, sinister nature. Walls seemed to breathe, hallways twisted and changed shape, and a constant, unseen presence followed her every step. The house was no longer a sanctuary, but a living nightmare. In the end, Eleanor's last words in her journal were simple yet haunting. "I am home." It was as if she had surrendered to the house, accepting her fate. When police finally entered the house, they found only her journal lying in an empty room. The pages were filled with her story, but of Eleanor herself, there was no sign. The house stood silent, empty, as if she had never been there at all. Of Eleanor, there was no trace, no footprints, no belongings, nothing but her words. She became another ghost in the long, haunted history of number 13, her longing for home forever echoing within its walls. Dr. John Montague, a scientist, believed number 13 was a center of psychic energy, not a haunted house. In 1995, he brought a team, physicist, clairvoyant, to conduct a definitive investigation. EMF meters spiked, cold spots moved, and the clairvoyant sensed an ancient consciousness. Dr. Montague documented every anomaly, convinced he was on the verge of discovery, but the house played with them, preying on their fears. The physicist saw shadows, the clairvoyant was overwhelmed by spectral voices, and Montague's rational mind began to fray. One morning their equipment was destroyed, and the house had become a maze. Every door led back to the central hall. Panic set in. Montague's final radio transmission was a single, terrified scream. He and his team were never seen again. The house had claimed more victims, indifferent to science or reason. Logic was powerless here. The house always wins. The house's most insidious weapon isn't its shifting walls, it's the whispers. They slither through the cracks, curling around your thoughts, so subtle you barely notice them at first. The air itself seems to hum with secrets, as if the house is alive and listening, waiting for the perfect moment to speak. They begin as faint murmurs, almost indistinguishable from the wind, a gentle sigh, a soft rustle, a wordless lullaby that seeps into your dreams. You might dismiss them as tricks of the mind, the product of an old house settling at night. But soon you hear your name, spoken in the voices of those you love. The whispers grow bolder, echoing familiar laughter, or the comforting tone of a parent or friend, drawing you further in. The house plunders your memories, using your deepest affections to unmoor you from reality. It knows what you long for, and it uses those memories as bait, weaving them into its haunting chorus. It promises comfort, luring you deeper. The warmth of a familiar room, the glow of a light left on just for you. These are the illusions it conjures, making you believe you're safe, even as you're being drawn into its web. Victims talk to empty rooms, responding to conversations only they can hear. They laugh, argue, or plead with shadows, convinced that someone is there, just out of sight. The whispers start with love, then twist into reminders of your regrets and shames. They replay your worst mistakes, your deepest secrets, until you can't tell what's real and what's the house's invention. The house learns your fears and uses them against you, crafting a unique mental prison. Each victim is tormented in a way only they can truly understand, isolated by their own mind. Its goal isn't just to trap the body, but to break the mind. It feeds on confusion and despair, growing stronger with every doubt and every tear. Eventually, the whispers become the house itself, promising peace and surrender. The silence that follows is not relief, but resignation, a final, chilling acceptance. Most victims stop fighting, accept their fate, and vanish into silence. Their presence lingers only as echoes, woven into the fabric of the house for the next soul to hear. The whispers fall quiet, waiting for the next voice to steal. The house is patient, and its hunger never fades. The house's true power is psychological, inescapable and absolute. In the end, it is not the walls that imprison you, but the whispers that never let you go. The house's cruelest trick is the illusion of escape. When hope is gone, a window cracks open, a door appears, or the main entrance swings wide. Victims rush toward freedom, hearts pounding, convinced their nightmare is over. But the exit is never real. The window slams shut, the door leads to another identical room, the front door circles back to the main hall. The house lets them taste hope, only to snatch it away. This psychological loop shatters their last defenses. Afterward, most give up, understanding the house is a sentient prison. There is no escape because the house does not want them to escape. It wants them to despair, and to stay, forever. The illusion of freedom is the final devastating blow. Number 13 is not just a building, it's alive. Those inside feel a slow, rhythmic pulse like a sleeping heart beneath the floorboards. The air expands and contracts, the walls groan and shift, and a dark sap oozes from the wood. The house manipulates light, sound, and temperature, feeding on fear and despair. The more terrified its prisoners, the more powerful the house becomes. Is it the consciousness of Silas Blackwood, or something far older? Its origin is a mystery, but its intent is clear. It is a predator, and its house is the perfect trap. Anyone who enters becomes prey. After each disappearance, a profound silence descends on number 13. Police, media, and onlookers fade away. The town tries to forget. The house erases evidence of its last victims. Dust settles, cobwebs grow, the atmosphere lightens just enough to become dormant. Years may pass, but the house waits, patient and watchful. Human curiosity is constant. Someone will always see the house as a challenge or opportunity. The silence is not absence, but the presence of all who have been silenced. Laughter, hope, and terror are absorbed into the fabric of the house. The silence is the house's victory, a chilling monument to its power. It waits for the next inevitable knock on the door. The story of number 13 is not over. It's a continuing mystery. Official records are incomplete, victims' journals offer only fragments, and each new clue deepens the enigma. The pattern is undeniable. People enter, the house seals itself, and they are never seen again. This is not a collection of tragedies, but a single, ongoing story of a predatory entity. The true horror lies in the unknown. What happens in the final moments? And where do the victims go? The house still stands, silent and waiting, its secrets locked inside. The story remains a dark stain on the town's history. The mystery is an open invitation to those brave or foolish enough to seek answers. The house beckons us to look closer, to dig deeper, and to try to understand its chilling secret. But beware, number 13 is always hungry for the next soul.